into the TV station, they'll put that on. That's going away fast too. Here we are at Culebra Creek in southern Colorado. This is a tailwater below Sanchez Reservoir, and we're right now on a piece that I own, but we have 10 miles total that I lease, and that's divided up into 10 sections, and we do guided trips on it, as well as allow the members of the Solitary Angling Club to fish all these waters on a reservation basis. Now, this is strictly private. We only allow one party per day per section, and we require at least 2 days a week rest. So that's at least 2 days a week. Usually we get at least 4 or 5 days a week rest. And we got 10 whole miles, so we can spread out. We don't have to overpressure any of it. The average fish is about 16 to 20 inches. This year they're averaging a little bit larger. It's got the largest fish of any stream within about a 90-mile radius of Taos. And it's just idyllic for growing big fish. Once they get up over 16, 17 inches, they start going into a diet of, in addition to the insects, they eat crawdads and minnows and things like that, and mice, things like that. And I even saw one eat a snake one time. Another time we saw one eat a baby duck. So there's some enormous fish in here. The biggest fish I've ever caught, biggest brown ever, was on this river the first day I fished it, and it was with a 2-weight rod, and I caught a 9-pound brown. That's the guess. It was 30 inches and about an 18-inch girth, so it could have been bigger. The entire river fishes year-round. Having said that, winters are kind of chilly, but midges hatch every day. It is controlled by a dam, so the flows come up and down. And this year we're experiencing, kind of a drought, so the reservoir is really low. Water's coming out a little bit murky, makes the dry fly fishing a little tough, but as you see, the fish are gorging. And they'll eat, even on the top. We got a couple today on dries. But when it clears up, the dry fly fishing is much better. But nymph fishing is always excellent. And we got great hatches starting in the spring. We have the midges, that goes right into spring betas. Then we go straight from that to pale morning duns. Then we go straight from that to some larger drake type mayflies, western drakes. Then now the biggest hatch of the year is the golden stones, and we're seeing those today. And the primary food source though is really crane fly larvae. And crane flies galore, but they eat the larvae mainly. And they range anywhere from 1/4 inch to 2 inches long. And then there's aquatic life such as annelids, worms, and leeches, and they eat a lot of leeches in here. That's one of the main food sources in the spring. And when they turn the river up and down, leeches and worms, leeches and worms. When the river goes back down, then we go back to the standard nymphs and crane fly larvae and mayfly nymphs and caddis in the evenings. It's got it all. It's a fabulous little fishery. It's a jewel of the Southwest. It really is for big fish. Oh! As soon as it hit the water. It's not as big as that last one, but it's a good one. Got a split fin.
At 8,000 feet in altitude, just north of the New Mexico state line, lies the oldest town in Colorado, San Luis. Glaciers once occupied the 14,000-foot-high mountain peaks that feed Culebra Creek, the fishery that meanders through the San Luis Valley of Colorado. The growth rate in trout in the Culebra is astonishing for such a small waterway, due in part to the rich water flowing from the bottom of the Sanchez Reservoir. The Culebra exists because of the Sanchez Reservoir and Dam, built over 100 years ago without machinery, which provides the much-needed water for ranchers that settled in the lower part of the Culebra Valley. Since the dam's completion, the Culebra has been a non-tributary of the Rio Grande River because virtually all the water rights are granted and used up and stored by users in the valley before it runs into the Rio Grande. The good news is that the majority of the users are downstream of where the best fishing is. The river bottom ranges from sand, silt, and clay in section 1A to small pebbles, bedrock, and small boulders in the other sections. The creek is 20 to 40 feet wide when it's running and 10 to 20 feet wide when the dam is shut off. As its name suggests, the Culebra snakes its way through pastures and upper sections of willows, cottonwoods, and elder trees, and the lower sections before disappearing into a series of irrigation ditches and stabilization reservoirs. There are deep holes and undercut banks near the bends and several nice shallow rifts that drop into long, deep pools. The entire stream is private from its headwaters to where it dries up into the Sagebrush Prairie. Most of the headwaters run through a huge private ranch in the San Gris del Cristo Mountains that is closed to the public. The lower Culebra below Sanchez Reservoir flows through about 12 miles of private pasture land in the San Luis Valley. About 10 miles of creek is available to the public for a feed through the Solitary Angler in Taos, New Mexico.
She had, I thought it was because she ate a mouse. She's eaten a zillion stoneclaws. Yeah, I just barely went to the base of her throat and I couldn't even go any further. Plus a few beetles and other stuff, but mainly mayflies, little PMDs, which we expected, and stoneclaws. That was that one I said I heard boil. But the one I heard before that was There he is, there he is. We got a real fish here. Typical Culebra trout here. There he is. Big one too, man. God, I gotta keep him out of the money. Oh, snag. Keep him on a short leash right here. It's not as big as I thought, but he'll do. Every bit of 18 anyway. Keep him right in here or he's getting me down there, I'm done. Do not go under there, do not go under there. Way so high.